Hi Watchers, back again. This time doing a twin flame reading for current energies around love connections. So have both the divine feminine and the divine masculine reading, as well as some connection energies. So the bottom of the deck is the Chariot. So yeah, things are moving, things are shifting. I don't know if anyone else has been feeling it over the last week, but I certainly have. So if this reading resonates with you, keep watching. If not, maybe I'm not the reader for you. But anyway, at the moment, I've been feeling lots and lots of Ascension symptoms, especially nausea, headaches, ear ringing, that sort of thing. So a lot of stuff's happening, and the bottom of the deck is just confirmation of this. It's above and below, inside and without. It's all happening. Everyone is probably experiencing to some extent those downloads, the energy's just coming through at a rapidly quickening pace. I've got to say, this last week, a lot of stuff been happening at the energetic level for me personally. Things I thought I'd purged coming up again and being worked through. So I think my last reading I did, there was for the divine feminine, there was a tower card coming up. So looking back over the last week, I think it makes a whole lot of sense. So I must say, though, this round of purging has been quicker to get through. A bit of it has been going over some old ground, but it's been a cleaner clearing, if I could describe it that way. So not sure if you're also experiencing that, but if you have been, then keep watching this. All right, so I'll start with divine feminine. So in her emotional space, a couple of cards came out. So have both Queen of Cups and the Fool. So as part of this purging, I think the divine feminine is really looking to let go and just move forward into a new space. She's really gone deep into her emotions. She hasn't been afraid of it. She's faced it head on, looked it straight in the eye, the emotions, and gone deep. And really explored the worst of her emotions. And that's meant a really good release and an emotional lightness. And I think that's reflected in this Fool card now coming up. So really good emotional purging, I think, for the divine feminine. And she's ready to step out on the new journey, let go of those past, they're not regrets, they're baggage, I describe it. So going forward with a clean slate, stepping out into the unknown future and not afraid of it. So this is a love reading. So the divine feminine is quite open to new expressions of love, new sources of love, and this may not necessarily be her twin flame either. So her emotions are definitely freer. Her heart is a lot more open because of the work she's put in. So really positive emotional space now after a little bit of effort of the last week. So in terms of the divine masculine, really quite interesting. He's got the Ace of Cups. So he's really feeling this divine connection at an emotional level. I've certainly been picking up sort of the 5D, divine masculine personally, that strong wave of emotion, and it's a beautiful emotion coming through, very pure, very divine, very unconditional. And I think this card is reflecting that that's the emotional space of the divine masculine currently. He's being fed from above, and his emotional cup is overflowing and wanting to give to his divine feminine. So, and it's like this endless supply of beautiful emotions. So that's really, really beautiful. But it's also crossed with, well, not crossed with, but it's tempered with the Seven of Wands. So picking up a couple of things here. First and foremost, picking up that he's really defending his right to divine love, feeling a lot more worthy of it. It is meant for him. His divine feminine is meant for him, regardless of what the circumstances are. And he's standing in his truth now, defending all the naysayers and the other thoughts and conditioning and programming that keeps coming up. So that's the first major feeling I get from this card. There's also, on a more minor level, I'm picking up, part of him still defends against the feeling, this overflowing emotion towards his divine feminine. But yeah, like I said, it's more the first perspective. I think that he's really feeling at the moment. So yeah, that's really, really great progress. But that is the emotional space. So let's see what comes up next. Okay, so the mental space we have for the divine feminine, she's got Seven of Cups. So yeah, this probably actually reflects my state at the moment. Looking at all the options she's recognizing, she's conscious. She actually has a lot of options out there. Yes, some maybe not as great as others, but when you're looking at it, there's quite a lot of great options that she has, and she's considering them. She's thinking, I don't have to put my eggs all in the one basket. I've got things out there. I mean, I know the one I want. I know what I want, and I know I'll get there. In the meantime, though, I have to live my life, and I'm conscious that I've got to take action and be decisive around choosing things that serve me, that keep me on just my life's journey. So, and eventually, there is that faith that it will still work out with her masculine. So in terms of the masculine, though, his space, a little more complex. Okay, so Four of Pentacles. So he's still caught up in the physical space, especially around wealth, money, physical constraints, societal conditioning. I'm really picking up that city in the background, and he's sitting on it. He's clinging to his coin. He's standing on his coins. He's driven by his coins at the top of the head. So that focus and drive from the physical constructs he's been programmed in over his years on earth is actually really been torn apart and torn down. So actually, we had last week, the Divine Feminine did have the Tower card in her space as well. I think it was more the emotional space though. But now it's interesting. This is being very quickly mirrored. So I've certainly been picking up, I don't know if you have, that energies have been merging really big time and faster and a faster and faster and faster rate. And to me, this is another example that, that it was in her emotional state last week, and now it's in masculine's physical state, mental and conscious state this week. So yeah, it's really, the universe is stepping in. It's tearing everything down, raising his very foundations that were built on societal conditioning, on acquisition and accumulation of wealth, and it's ripping that apart for him. So it's mentally, in his mental space, he's very conscious of it all falling apart and coming down. Whether he's actually really seriously distressed, I'm not picking up that he's desperately distressed by this. And I think that's because he knew it was coming. On some level, he knew that, this was inevitable. So it's not unexpected. So yeah, but wow, much is happening in his mental space, being torn apart from what he's used to. So interesting times at the moment for the masculine. Okay, so in terms of divine feminine, her spiritual, her soul space. Okay, we have the Eight of Swords and the Page of Pentacles. So divine feminine soul. There's a remnant of being a bit closed off, and I think it's a little bit of final purging perhaps that needs to happen. She's closing herself off a little bit to this twin flame connection in order to move on, in order to make a decision, a more logical decision. Even those are cups, I'm really picking up. These are fairly concrete choices for her. So she's mentally closing herself off and just taking a real step away from the twin flame union. So that's quite interesting. So yeah, that means she's still got a bit of work to do to open up her heart and mind to that unconditional nature of it. But it's okay, it'll still work. So there's still some doubts niggling in her soul space that she's having to work through. She's working through at the moment. Because we've also got the Page of Pentacles. So it's more than a mental space. It's that play between mental and physical here going on in her soul. And it is a fledgling bit of progress to come out of this blinded view I'm picking up. So yeah, but it's only a small pentacle. It's only a small step forward, but it's baby steps currently. She's made massive giant leaps over the last, probably last 6 months has been huge, but there's certainly been fits and starts. So there's been big progress in the last week again. So now it's sort of just eased off a little. So the progress will be just a little baby steps, like I said. So that's interesting. There's a bit of conflict in her soul. So I think honestly the divine feminine needs to just work through this, just go with it, not be upset or triggered by this. She might think, I should have been more mature by now. But look, this is her soul. So, it's more subconscious. It's more out of her direct control. So she just has to go with it a bit and allow it to just unfold. So I think that's the real lesson here in this dichotomy in the soul space. Just run with it. It'll work itself out. So in terms of the masculine space, his soul space has got a bit going on here. quite a lot. I have actually been picking up on this. So his soul is wanting to move. It's driving him forward there's a lot of passion. he's look, he's in the direction, driving towards the direction of his divine feminine. His soul is pushing him in that direction, with the wand in hand, charging forward with great passion. But he's still dealing with his demons and his soul learnings. They still have to be cleared. There's still more. It's not as last week's I found was a lot more extreme. There was a lot more frustration and angst associated with it, but there is still the conditioning, and I was coming up in the mental space as well earlier in this reading. He's got to work through that conditioning, face it, and just let his soul bring it up. It'll bring it up to him to work through. And he's the divine masculine is actually working through these challenges, starting at his soul level, and it is getting into a more manifested state, of course, as we're seeing the tower and happening in his conscious mental space. So, but why I'm saying he's really working through it with a whole lot of success and speed is because, well, one, Knight of Wands, that's enormous speed and movement. Two, we had the overall Chariot card, so a lot of movement, a lot of stuff happening around the light and dark forces. And then finally, in his soul space, there's the sun. The sun hasn't come up for a long time in my readings in the masculine space, quite a few months. So, wow, this is a wonderful thing to see again. Two things picking up here. Firstly, this I really see it as divine masculine energy. That extroverted, that outward type energy, that doing, that more forceful, producing forward energy, but in a joyful, very, very positive way. So picking up on that's happening in his soul space, but also picking up the joy, the light is coming from his source, his own source, and from his divine feminine. So he's being inspired by his divine feminine. She is his sun. She is his light. She is illuminating the way for him, and he is quite quickly following. I know it feels like it's been forever, but you think of conditioning over decades. Well, that's for the twins that I'm channeling. And this is turning back the time of, in months that has built up conditioning and programming over decades. So this is enormous progress. So seeing the light again in his soul space, he's feeling the warmth again, and that once again, really, really beautiful. So that's really quite encouraging reading for the divine masculine, finally, after a long period in the darker space. So both in his emotional space, he's got the Ace of Cups, this beautiful divine love he's really feeling. And then, of course, in his soul space, he's got lots happening, so much passion, warmth and joy. And yes, he is working through his challenges through the programming. Okay, now I've finally got a couple of cards just in terms of the connecting energies between divine masculine and feminine. So what's happening? And like I said before, like the energies are really merging more and more and much, much quicker. So coming up like week to week, the same card is turning up in the twins reading. So they're working through all of this at a rapid pace. So, and this really aligns to all that just massive ascension symptoms going on. So, and that's why, like, I was really unsurprised by these two cards that came up. So the first one, in terms of connecting energies, the first one was Fork in the Road. So it's D-Day, it's decision time. This is the moment of truth. This is where the universe is presenting situations where this is for both divine feminine and divine masculine. You have a choice. You can go this way or that way. You have come through so much. You've learned so much about yourself and about the greater collective and the universe in general. So you are far more armed and illuminated on the right information, not just information that's been fed to you over the centuries. So you're at this fork in the road where you can choose to walk towards love, make heart-based decisions, or stick with the old programming. And I'm really picking that up, that it's really these two choices, and both divine feminine and masculine both know what their heart-based choice is, what will lead them to their joy, to their greater fulfillment, and that it can be in a way a harder road, but it is the ultimately most fulfilling road. And they're at this point of choice, and there's this real fear. And the other card that came up was round and round. So there's this real feeling that, okay, it's come up again. Now this decision point, this fork in the road, has come up before, and the wrong choices were usually made, either by the divine feminine or masculine, or both of them. So it's come around again. The karmic lesson is coming up again for the choice to be made, and you can make the choice that you are now ready to make and then move forward, or you don't have to, because there's no wrong choices. You can take the higher ground or the lower ground, but at the end of the day, they'll always lead you ultimately to the same destination, and that's to source, to yourself, to harmony, to a greater good, etc. So that all choices will lead you there. But I'm really feeling like there's a readiness, the collective I'm picking up at the moment, there's a readiness to make the choice and make a difference to their timelines, like in the physical. So instead of going round and round in circles, the same old wheel and same karmic lessons repeating and coming up again and again, there's this knowledge that a third eye has opened for the twins that I'm picking up, and from there they can generate their new path out of the old programming, out of the hamster wheel, the round and round and round circular logic. It can be the spiral out of there, out of that state where nothing really fundamentally changed. So this could be the decision that physically transforms their lives. So yes, there's been massive spiritual transformation, but now there's the decision time where this road can spiral up into a whole new level. So yeah, and I think a lot of the twins are going to be making that choice, taking that leap of faith, making their heart-based choice and leveling up to a new state. And that's seriously exciting. So if you are feeling those ascension symptoms recently, that's probably why. Yeah. So I feel like I want to do one more card, just for, I don't know why. Just, is there a final message from Spirit? Just let me, one final message. The card wants to come out. What have we got here? Okay. Okay, what's come out is the Six of Pentacles. Okay, what I'm picking up is this is an opportunity for real balance now. There's giving and taking. So many okay, I'm picking up a lot of stuff. A lot of things merging, energies merging between masculine and feminine. There's things coming into balance, above and below. Things are converging, timelines are converging. emotions and spirits energies are converging, and that's enabling. So it's enabling that tipping point, that moment where these twin flames can choose the path they were destined for and choose it now, and then they can give back. So they'll have reached their higher state of ascension. And it's not to mean that there's still not a whole lot along the road, but their massive transformation will level to a point, and that then enables them to start focusing outwardly to others and bringing other people around them on a more loving journey, a more loving state, and healing, and enabling them to do their life's work. Because once you're centered, once you're in balance internally, once you're aligned with your divine self, nothing gets to you. Everything just flows. Everything manifests without effort, and you can then give back. You can give to others without losing from yourself. So without it depleting you. So, and my God, the world needs it. So just picking up these desperate individuals here, just soaking up, sponging, desperate for any sort of alms, any sort of gift and illumination and kindness from those who've reached this state of peace. So yeah, and these twins, this next wave, are like they're leading the next charge. So yeah, okay, that's what I'm picking up from this card. Beautiful, lovely reading. All right, well, I hope it helped in some way. Best of luck on your personal journey through the next week, and I'll talk to you soon. Thanks. Bye.